Today I show you the Dungeon Blocks Cave set. But before we get into today's video, I just want to share with you what the GGGGs are for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month of October of 2023, we have this printed and painted Forbidden War terrain. We have 2 pledges towards the Warlayer Forbidden War terrain Kickstarter. We have 2 pledges for Torch and Shield. We have 2 free subscriptions to Beast Miniatures. And we have $100 going towards this crowdfunding campaign, which my Patreon supporters voted upon, which is the Gamefold gaming table. Use the link below to go to my Patreon page where you can get a chance to receive one of these gratitude gifts, as Bob is going to be making his picks this upcoming Sunday on October 29th. It only takes $1 to participate and get a chance to do that, as well as getting some Patreon exclusive videos, which I will be mentioning later, but some of them include tutorials on the custom pieces that I have created, as well as a painting tutorial. So if you haven't seen my original Dungeon Blocks video, go ahead and check it out here, where I showcase the dungeons, the very first campaign from Dungeon Blocks, and I just had a ton of fun creating that set. I did skip on their second crowdfunder, which was a sewer set, and went in though on the cave set. And between the cave set and the dungeon set, I actually like the cave set better for the variety of different tiles that you're getting. So it's actually a better deal getting the cave set than the dungeon set. Also, I really want to quickly say that I am posting this video earlier than normal. I typically post videos on Fridays, but for this week I am posting this on Wednesday because this campaign is going to be ending very soon. So this Friday is when this campaign is going to end. So make sure you jump in on it if you want the reduced price. These files are on sale afterwards on MyMiniFactory, but they're going to be at a higher price, I think around $70 or $80 rather than right now for the price of about $50. So use the link below if you want to purchase this for yourself. Now, one of the other unusual things about these campaigns is that you get the files right away, so you don't have to wait until the end of the campaign, but you have access to the files as soon as you pledge for it. Now, I did create some custom files because one of the criticisms that I do have about this set is that all of the walls are pretty much 90-degree angles. So it still looks like regular rooms. And in my eyes, in order for it to look like a cave, you really need irregularly shaped walls. And I know that that's very hard to achieve with sort of if you're committed to remaining in these blocks, these singular blocks. So the conversion that I made was to fuse 4 blocks together. And again, I used Microsoft 3D Builder, which is a free program that you can download. And check it out. By creating these 4x4s, I can create different angled walls, which over here, if you look at this side, looks totally like a cave, a natural cave. Whereas here on the right, where everything is angled at 90 degrees, it still looks like a man-made room. So I think that's one of the key features that is missing from the current campaign that I think is sorely needed. And again, if you become a Patreon supporter for at least $1, you will have access to my videos, my tutorial video on how to use Microsoft 3D Builder in order to create these custom files. Now again, I'm not going to share the STL files with you just because I want to honor those who made Dungeon Blocks and their IP, but I will show you how to make the modifications yourself so that you have an infinite number of possibilities. And in this case, I just made 2 different styles. One is sort of a corner piece, and then another one is just shifting from one side to another. And after creating these, I mirrored them, and just with these few pieces and then combining with the stock pieces that come with the set, you can have a huge variety of different shapes that again makes it look more natural and makes it look more like a cave system. You're also going to find a painting tutorial for the paints that I used in order to create this set. So again, that's going to be a separate video. I am going to be posting these both in my Patreon exclusive section of Patreon as well as in the Discord channel, where it's a little bit easier to find as there is a dedicated channel there where you can find all of my tutorial videos. But other than those changes that I have made. For the most part, all of the stock pieces that come are pretty fantastic. And the amount of variety that you're getting is cool too. Now, one of the things that you do need to know specifically about the walls, most of the walls in this set, is that they are actually taking up an entire square versus the dungeon set that allowed you to be able to have an inch of space for your miniatures to fit on the tiles that are holding the walls. And because of that, you were able to recreate the Hero Quest board exactly as is, which is very challenging to do when your walls are taking up a whole inch of space or a whole block of space. And here they do have a version where the wall is at the very edge, but it doesn't have all of the cool features that the rest of the walls have. So that's one of the downsides. He does include these stone ones, which still function like the walls that go right up against the edge so that you can place a miniature there. But overall, you just need to know that you're not going to be able to recreate the Hero Quest board square for square with the standard walls from this cave set. That's going to be fine with me because the cave system, again, I'm more interested in making it look more natural and with different shapes. So that is fine. Another feature about this set is that you are getting these water tiles and waterfalls, which again look super cool, and I chose to paint mine pretty similar to the pictures that was in the campaign setting. But I did choose to paint up the walls lighter. I did do a couple of color tests, and the reason why I went lighter with my cavern walls is because there is quite a bit of wood that is found on this set, and I wanted the wood to stick out and contrast between the color of the walls and all of the wood that is there. Because even in the sample picture from the campaign, it is hard to distinguish the wood from the actual cavern set, even though that deep sort of darker brown color is really cool looking. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how all of this turned out. Another feature that's found on this is these rails for mines. So this is a fantastic feature that I think just adds to the overall sense that you are in sort of natural caves and underground. And I love the fact that they also have a version where you have a bunch of these gems or crystals that are growing out of the floor, out of the walls, and you can have the option of, in these mine carts, being able to place those crystals in there. The other cool thing about the rail system is that it can go up a hill, just like it shows here. So I think that is just really, really cool that they included that as part of this set. Also, a couple of different themes. You've got mushrooms happening. You've got pools of water. You've got bones, dragon bones or dinosaur bones. You have stone blocks and hindering terrain, all that kinds of stuff. So again, I think this just is providing a ton of value for the amount, since you can create totally a mix of themes, as you can see here, or you can just stick to one of your favorites that you like and just print those out. There is a tool that Dungeon Blocks has come out with, a dungeon builder tool, where you can drag and drop these tiles and create it sort of digitally, and then it will give you a print list of what you need to print to create that. I personally didn't use that. I just tend to print out a bunch of them and then just randomly figure out what I need and print as I go along. This, what you see here, is less than half of the files that I printed, and I have a lot more painting to do, but I wanted to get this video out before the campaign was over so that you could jump in before the campaign ended. Also, one of the things that I did differently was, instead of using their standard bases that were plain, I went ahead and just printed out a bunch of these bases that are textured on the side. And I think that looks super cool as well. And of course, I wanted more than just the 3x3 or the stock sized bases that came with it. So I created this 4x4 as well as this 6x6, which is the standard size for Madara, which is I'm using these tiles for, in addition to Dungeons and Dragons. So again, you're going to see tutorials on how to go ahead and make these things in the Patreon exclusive content. Also, I really quickly wanted to mention, as I have one of the dwarves from Torch and Shield here, this set would be perfect for that game if you're looking to create a 3D dungeon for that dwarf skirmish game. Make sure you check out that video here if you haven't seen it yet already. Want to give a quick shout out to AnkerMake, as I printed a lot of these dungeon blocks on that printer. The MC5 is still my go-to recommendation for new printers, as it is the cheapest and one of the fastest, still twice as fast as the MK3S from Prusa. Wanted to highlight also their website, Make It Real. This is also an app that's available on the phone that I did show in my original video, but they are continuing to add a bunch of STL files that makes it super easy to download onto your printer and print right away. They have a lot of Halloween themed things going on right now. So go ahead and use the link below to check out AnkerMake and all of their great products. So that's pretty much it for this video. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. And again, use the link below to go to my Patreon page to have a chance to be chosen by Bob for one of this month's gratitude gifts. Otherwise, happy printing, happy gaming. We'll see you next time.